friends, my name is Kayla Rain, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free book review on Da Vinci's Tiger by L.M. Elliot. Da Vinci's Tiger comes in at 287 pages. I received this in my owl crate last month, and I will link all information for that in the down bar below. And overall, I just have to go ahead and say, I love this book. This is a YA historical fiction that follows the main character Ginevra, who is a 17-year-old living in Florence, Italy. This book takes place during the Renaissance period of Italy, and I do pronounce it Renaissance, although I have heard people pronounce it Renaissance, so tomato type deal, just go with it. But Ginevra finds herself very unhappy with where she's at in life. She is in a loveless and passionless marriage to a man who is twice her age. She finds that she has just not been able to make very many decisions for herself, and all of the decisions that have been made for her have been made in a way to advance a man's standing, whether politically, financially, or socially. So she's very unhappy with some of the situations that she's found herself in, and she is also very unhappy with the fact that she can't really share her art, which is poetry, because a lot of it talks about how she feels more wild and spirited than a woman really should during that particular time period. Towards the beginning of the book, Ginevra finds herself the platonic love interest of a Venetian ambassador, and she finds herself caught up in a very influential family during that time period in Italy. And because of that, she meets a young Leonardo da Vinci, and as she starts to talk to Leonardo da Vinci more and she gets more involved in this platonic love interest, she finds herself the artistic muse of the young Leonardo, and things just kind of set off from there. Overall, I found this book was just so beautifully written, and something that I found really interesting was so many of the things in this book were actual fact, like the historical accuracies as far as the time period goes. The characters were definitely real, like Leonardo da Vinci and Ginevra and the Medici family. Those were all very real things in history. Of course, we know about Leonardo, but it was really beautiful the way that L.M. Elliot kind of wove that fictional story into something that really did happen, and I think she did such a fantastic job. You can tell that this book is incredibly well researched just when you're reading it, but when you get to the end you can actually see where L.M. Elliot got her sources, and I honestly had no idea that this book was based off of an actual portrait that Leonardo da Vinci did that currently resides in Washington, D.C., and this has definitely sparked my interest to go and actually look at that painting and check it out. So this book, on top of just being a really wonderful literary experience, has also sparked my interest in some art history and taught me some things that I shamefully did not know before. I think this has a really great crossover appeal for those who enjoy adult historical fiction. This one was just so beautifully written, and I think that it doesn't necessarily tell the story of a young adult by itself. It tells the story of something so much greater than that. There is a lot of political intrigue in here, there's a lot of religious context, there is subtle feminist undertones throughout this entire book, and it's just so beautifully woven together to create this really fantastic historical fiction story. This book comes in at under 300 pages, but I found myself really wanting to just kind of mull over the language and just the way she portrayed everything. The imagery was so beautiful that I found myself really wanting to live in that world and just step back in time. And I really enjoy this book. I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 stars, and for anyone who is a historical fiction fan, I highly recommend picking this one up. Even if you aren't particularly fond of YA, if you are just a fan of historical fiction and beautiful writing, I cannot recommend Da Vinci's Tiger enough. It was gorgeous. Again, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend that you guys pick it up if you enjoy historical fiction that is very well researched. Don't forget to follow me on Goodreads, Twitter, and Instagram if you want to see what I am reading currently, and then you can also request for me to do book reviews on those books if you are interested in doing so. All links will be in the down bar below, and I look forward to seeing you guys on other social media sites. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird.